On the news, President Buhari summons Minister of Power over erratic power supply. Court sacks 20 Cross River Assembly members over defection to the APC. And federal government incurs 950 billion naira new domestic borrowing in the first quarter of 2022. It's good to have you join us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Mary Kanu. President Muhammadu Buhari has summoned the Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, for a meeting at the presidential villa. The president also called for a meeting with the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, as well as the chief economic advisor, Doyin Salami. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, announced the development in a statement on Monday. President Buhari is expected to receive a briefing on the latest developments in Imo State, the power sector and the state of the economy. The president had last week apologized to Nigerians over the petrol scarcity and power outage experienced in the country. A federal high court in Abuja has sacked 20 members of the Cross River State House of Assembly for defecting to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, had instituted a suit against the lawmakers over their defection to the APC. The court, in a judgment delivered by Justice Taiwo held that the lawmakers, having abandoned the political party that sponsored them to power or to vacate their seats. The lawmakers were members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, before their defection. Still on party defections, the Federal High Court in Abuja has struck out a motion filed by Governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, and his deputy, Eric Igwe, seeking to stay execution of a judgment that sacked them from office. According to the legal counsel to the governor and his deputy, the decision is hinged on the fact that they have now approached the Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, to reverse the March 8th decision of the court which removed them from office to ensure they are reinstated. The judge, Inyang Eko, had on March 8th sacked the governor and his deputy from their offices over the defection from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. The judge held that the 393,042 votes polled by Umahi in the March 2019 governorship election belong to the PDP and cannot be legally transferred to the APC. Still in political matters, ahead of the March 26 National Convention of the All Progressives Congress, over 7 chairmanship aspirants have submitted their forms ahead of the screening exercise. A frontline chairmanship aspirant and the senator representing Niger East, Sani Musa, has said that with 43 million members, the party would not plead for money under his leadership. He, however, questioned why the party was still selling forms to the aspirants if Senator Abdullahi Adamu had been endorsed by President Muhammadu Buhari. Another aspirant, former governor of Nasarawa State, Tanko Al-Makura, who stormed the party's national secretariat with his supporters, noted that he would ensure full representation in the party. He also insists that the best option is to uphold party democracy.
APC need a leadership that will give a new direction. APC need a leader that will be able to build concession between all divided organs. The executive governors are there to support the party, and the party is there to work for the governors, for the elected members. We want to see a party that has become an institution in Africa. APC is the largest party, and all we need to do is to put the structure, that is, the political parties need to be very strong. We have democracy in this country that has a good foundation, but what we are lacking is the leadership that will be able to transform our political structures to what they should be. Because political parties are avenues to groom leaders. and that is what I'm bringing new to APC.
I believe all my pedigree and past experiences should be brought to bear to ensure that this party is formidable. Formidable in the sense that we should have a leadership that will be sincere, honest, and be fair to everyone. A leadership that will ensure that it is guided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Constitution of our party.
Moving on, still in politics, the former governor of Borno State, Ali Modu Sharif, says he will no longer contest the national chairmanship position of the All Progressives Congress. Speaking to journalists in Abuja, Sharif said he does not want to oppose the zoning formula of the party as they have agreed to zone the position to the North Central. Sharif had since declared his interest to contest as national chairman of the party.
The party has taken a position that the position of the national chairman should go to the North Central, meaning it is exclusively zoned to the contestants of the North Central zone. And people have shown a lot of interest in what we are doing, and I thank all of them. It's not my fault. It's something that you have to follow the rule of law. And for anybody doing otherwise, I don't think it's correct. So I want to let people know that this is the position. I, Ali Modu Sharif, will not offer myself for the contest on Saturday because it has been zoned out of my zone, the Northeast. But if the party changes its mind from today to Friday and say everybody, between 12 hours you can fill up a form and go into a contest. But as long as it remains that it is North Central, I'm not going to be party to that.
The coalition of several groups under the aegis of the Green Alliances has asked the Apex Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele to seek office as president in the 2023 general elections. Founder of the group, Wale Fabonda, made this call while addressing newsmen in Abuja. Fabonda said going by Emefiele's previous achievements as a reliable and accountable economist, the CBN governor has what it takes to improve the nation's economy.
The president came and said, one of the things we need to do as a nation is to diversify our economy and to invest in agriculture. Immediately, Dr. Godwin Emefiele keyed into this, and we have seen various and remarkable intervention in this sector of the Nigerian economy.
Abuja invasion became very imperative and necessary because of the resilience and support nature of the over 100 interest groups from all walks of life across the nation, who keep reiterating their love for a better Nigeria, their commitment, their belief and confidence in the person of Dr. Godwin Emefiele.
We're calling and urging women to come out and be confident to run for public offices. And I believe every woman in Nigeria will throw all their support to you. We are going to support women to serve the public offices.
Ahead of the 2022 World Tuberculosis Day, health experts have called on governments at all levels to invest more in tuberculosis eradication in the country. Stakeholders made the call in Abuja during the press briefing on pre-World TB Day ahead of a March 24 World Tuberculosis Day celebration. The experts said adequate investment will prevent people from dying from TB, a vaccine-preventable and curable disease. Our correspondent Abisola Adebayo tells us more.
Despite tuberculosis being a vaccine-preventable disease, statistics from the World Health Organization shows that about 245,000 Nigerians die from the infection yearly and about 590,000 new cases are recorded. To find a solution to these disturbing data, health experts in the country and abroad are here in this conference to deliberate and prefer solutions to the government on how to curb the spread. In her address, the acting board chairman of Stop TB Partnership Nigeria, Queen Ogbuji, lamented the low levels of funding for tuberculosis response year after year, saying it is no longer acceptable.
Globally, of the $15 billion annual funding for TB promised by the world leaders at the United Nations high-level meeting in 2018, less than half has been delivered. And in Nigeria, out of the $373 million needed for TB control in Nigeria in the year 2020, only 31% was available to all the implementers of TB control activities in Nigeria.
Head of the National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Control Program in the Ministry of Health, Emmanuel Anyaike, emphasized the importance of awareness about the spread of the infection, urging media organizations in the country not to relent in creating awareness about the deadly infection.
Yearly, we have not less than 440,000 new tuberculosis cases in the country. And all that we've been trying to do in getting them diagnosed and placed on treatment for absolute cure, which is a sure way of cutting the chain of the transmission of tuberculosis.
While pledging their support to eradicate the infection in the country, development experts at the event called for improvement on case findings towards achieving universal health coverage.
We currently work in partnership with the National TB Control Program in 18 states through our USAID TB Local Organization Network projects. We're supporting the government at the national and state level to detect, treat, and prevent TB in public and private hospitals and in communities.
About 70% gap in funding for TB. And I would really like to tell you there's equally 70% gap in TB case finding. What does that show? The more resources we have, the more we will be able to find the missing cases.
The theme for this year's World TB Day is Invest to End TB, Save Lives, conveying the urgent need to invest resources to ramp up the fight against tuberculosis and achieve the commitment made by global leaders to end the deadly infection. Abisola Adebayo, TV360 News.
The Nigerian Medical Association and the Nigerian Bar Association Abuja chapters have rejected the abrupt termination of the public-private partnership arrangement between the NSIA medical groups and the Federal Capital Territory Administration. Speaking during a joint press briefing in Abuja, Enema Amodu, chairman of Federal Capital Territory chapter of the NMA, and Moses Ebute, chairman of the NBA Abuja branch, said the move would lead to sudden loss of jobs by close to 1,000 workers. Chairman of NMA Abuja chapter said the action will terminate the postgraduate medical training as well as internship programs of doctors, pharmacists and nurses presently running in the institution. He added that the accredited programs had been largely responsible for the high standard of practice at the Garki Hospital over the last 15 years of concession.
On the abrupt termination of the public-private partnership arrangement between the NISA medical groups and the Federal Capital Territory Administration of Garki Hospital, Abuja, the NMA FCT totally and completely rejects the position of the FCT that this move will lead to a sudden loss of jobs by the various medical doctors, nurses, and other healthcare providers within the facility. The NMFCT therefore calls on the FCTA to look at this abrupt termination notice that has been issued to NISA Group and see a way they can either sit down to extend the period or work out modalities that our members working there, training there, will be absorbed wholly into the system.
Looking at the facility
we feel that using self-help will not be advisable. Because what happens if at the end of 1 month they are unable to evacuate? Are you going to deploy security agencies to move everybody, including those on admission? So that is what concerns us here. If it is abrupt, then there's something wrong with it. And even if it's not abrupt, I don't think 1 month notice is reasonable in the circumstances.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Ukraine rejects Russian demand to surrender port city. Details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories tonight. President Muhammad Buhari has summoned the Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, for a meeting at the presidential villa. The president also called for a meeting with the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, as well as the chief economic advisor, Doyin Salami. President Buhari is expected to receive a briefing on the latest developments in Imo State, the power sector, and the state of the economy. We also told you that a federal high court in Abuja has sacked 20 members of the Cross River State House of Assembly for defecting to the ruling All Progressives Congress. The court declared that the lawmakers, having abandoned the political party that sponsored them to power, ought to vacate their seats. Well, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Amid rising coronavirus cases, Austria's health minister Johannes Rauch has announced plans to reintroduce an indoor mask mandate, opposing a trend among European countries to lift coronavirus precautions despite rising cases. Rauch said starting from Wednesday, masks will be required in indoor spaces again, and the government would soon revise the isolation rules for infected people. Over the past 2 weeks, new cases in Austria have increased by 54%, while deaths have continued to fall in the region. We'll take a break and return with business, international, and sport updates, so stay with us. Welcome back. It's time for business news and stock market review with Abisola Adebayo. Over to you, Abisola.
Thank you very much, Mary. Welcome to Business News. Following 2 days of deliberations, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has retained all monetary parameters constant, keeping the benchmark interest at 11.5% despite growing inflationary pressure in the country. This was disclosed by the Governor of the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, while reading the communique of the first Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the year on Monday. Emefiele explained that lowering the rate could have stimulated more borrowing, while raising the rates could have signaled the CBN's intention to reduce the economy's money supply. The federal government says it has incurred 950 billion naira new domestic borrowings between January 2022 to March 2022. The Director General of the Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha, disclosed this during the presentation of Nigeria's public debt data. In the document, Oniha disclosed that the federal government was considering all options to raise funds externally. In total, the document reveals that the federal government plans to add 6.3 trillion naira new debt to the current debt stock, which would push the country's total debt stock to 45.86 trillion naira by December 2022. Well, we'll take a break now and return with a review of the stock market. It appears the bear is making the first appearance for this week after dominating the last 3 trading sessions last week. The all-share index dipped marginally by about 7 basis points, wiping over 16 billion naira from the market capitalization. Well, let's take a look at today's market summary. Total volume sees 213 million units of shares valued at 2.6 billion naira, exchanging hands in 4,485 deals. The market loss today was driven by price depreciation in large and medium capitalized stocks, which are led by RT Briscoe and Berger. They had a combined 88 kobo loss. Conversely, our top gainer sees Guinness Nigeria dominating the gainers chart, gaining at 10% during trading. It was closely followed by Royal X, who had a 10 kobo increase. The direction of the Nigerian equities earlier today seems uncertain as investors are trading cautiously, waiting for the outcome of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting. Anyways, at the end of the meeting, the committee decided to keep all monetary parameters constant, retaining the benchmark interest at 11.5%. Anyways, it's the first day of the market, so let's hope the market will spring up a positive surprise later this week. Moving on, the FTSE ended higher on Monday, even as US stocks struggled to make progress, with higher commodity prices doing the trick for the main London index. The Dow Jones, on the other hand, dropped as Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's comments sparked bets of more aggressive interest rate hike, adding to investors' concerns as the Ukraine conflict rages on. Japan stock, just like the FTSE, is in the positive territory, recording a 0.65% increase. That's all on stock market reports. Back to you, Mary, for the rest of the news.
Well, thank you for that update, Abisola. And now on the global scene, Ukraine has rejected a Russian ultimatum offering people in the besieged city of Mariupol safe passage out of the port if they surrender. On the Russia's proposal, civilians will be allowed to leave if the city's defenders lay down arms, but Ukraine has refused, saying there was no question of surrendering the strategic port city. Mariupol is a key strategic target for Russia and has seen some of the invasion's fiercest fighting, but Russian forces are failing to take the city from its defenders, with around 300,000 people believed to be trapped in the city, with supplies running out and aid blocked from entering. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Nigerian music icon Two-Face Innocent Idibia has come out to his wife and niece's defense following a recent outburst on the reality TV show Young, Famous and African. The movie star had expressed her frustration over her husband's infidelity while they were dating. Annie had revealed during one of the episodes of the show that she has been subjected to many humiliations and embarrassment and would always question how Two-Face made the same mistake twice. Annie and Two-Face got married in May 2012 and they have 2 daughters together, Isabella and Olivia. A Twitter user by the name Mr. MD, who alleged that Nigerian music star Davido is not the father of his son, has tendered an apology. MD alleged that Peruzzi is the father of the music star's only son, Ifeanyi. He also alleged that Davido used the photo of Peruzzi's son on his last album cover. Meanwhile, it is well known that Davido used the son Ifeanyi on the cover of the said album. After the tweet went viral, Davido issued a stern warning to the Twitter user. The allegation that Peruzzi is the father of Davido's son has made headlines several times. However, Peruzzi has come out to deny the allegations, saying that it is absurd that people would make up stories about him sleeping with a partner of the man who changed his life. And that is all that we have for you in the entertainment segment of News Now.
In sports, 6 players have arrived at the Super Eagles training camp in Abuja ahead of Nigeria's 2022 FIFA World Cup playoff tie against the Black Stars of Ghana. Odion Igalo, who arrived at the camp on Monday, joined William Trist Ekong, Leon Balogun and 3 other teammates, increasing the number of players on ground to 6, even as more players are expected at the Moshood Abiola Stadium camp before training commences. Technical advisor Augustine Eguavoyen had called up 24 players for the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 playoff round. Nigeria taking Ghana in the 20,000 capacity Cape Coast Sports Stadium as from 7:30 p.m. on Friday, March 25th, with the reverse leg set for the Moshood Abiola National Stadium Abuja on Tuesday, March 29th as from 6 p.m. The winner over 2 legs will earn one of Africa's 5 tickets to the 22nd FIFA World Cup finals, scheduled for 14th November to 18th December 2022 in Qatar. Well, that's all in our package this evening. Thank you for watching. I am Mary Kanu. Bye for now.